Have you ever felt like, man, I'm really good at speaking in front of people, but my math grades are terrible? And then you wonder, should you double down on your public speaking skills? Or should you spend all your energy trying to crack math formulas? That's the classic dilemma. Do you focus on your strengths or work harder on fixing your weaknesses? The truth is, the way you answer this question could be the difference between becoming extraordinary or just staying average. Let's break it down. So why is focusing on strengths way more effective than forcing yourself to get good at everything? Here's the deal. Every single person has certain things that come naturally to them. Some people pick up numbers easily. Some can mimic sounds after hearing them once, and some have a natural instinct for reading emotions. These natural gifts are your strengths. But here's where people often mess up. They ignore those strengths and chase something just because it looks cool or safe. Like you're great at speaking, but you push yourself into coding just because tech looks trendy. Or you're passionate about drawing, but end up slogging through accounting because someone told you that's a secure career. The problem? You're swimming against the current. Now, imagine the opposite. Say you're naturally good at storytelling. You can craft narratives that hook people emotionally. If you really leaned into that, read storytelling books, took writing workshops, practiced making narrative videos, within 6 months to a year, your skills could reach a top-tier level. You'd advance faster than others because you're building on a natural foundation. But if you spend that same time forcing yourself into something you don't enjoy, like data science, the progress feels slow, frustrating, and draining. Sure, you might learn, but it's uphill all the way. By the time you've reached average, your natural strengths have been neglected. And in today's world, that's a missed opportunity. Think about the job market right now. Employers don't want generalists who are okay at everything. They want specialists who are incredible at one thing. A graphic designer who's phenomenal can charge big money for a single poster, while someone who's just decent at a bunch of different skills usually struggles to stand out. That's why successful people almost always have one main strength they sharpen to the extreme. Whether it's communication, analysis, creativity, leadership, or technical expertise, they double down on it until it becomes their defining edge. And here's something interesting. Once you master one strength, it often opens doors to other supporting skills. For instance, if you're great at public speaking, you can build a personal brand, gain confidence in business, learn team management, and eventually even develop financial literacy. But it all started from the foundation, your strength. Of course, this doesn't mean weaknesses don't matter at all. Some weaknesses are what I'd call critical weaknesses, the kind that directly block your growth. For example, say you're a brilliant designer, but you completely suck at communicating with clients. If you can't understand a brief, can't take feedback, or get offended too easily, your design career will hit a ceiling. That's a weakness you must work on, at least enough so it stops holding you back. Another example, you might be an amazing speaker, but if you can't use basic digital tools like making slides or editing simple videos, you'll struggle to adapt. You don't need to become an expert editor, but you need enough knowledge to keep projects moving without stalling your team. So the smart approach is this: fix only the weaknesses that are bottlenecks. The rest? Let them be. If you're a writer, you don't need to be a world-class public speaker. As long as you can handle a podcast interview or answer questions in an email, you're fine. Time is limited, and every hour you spend trying to perfect a weakness could have been used to take your strength to an elite level. And don't forget, weaknesses can also be covered through collaboration. Not good with numbers? Hire an accountant. Don't know design? Partner with a designer. That's why teams exist. Success isn't about doing everything yourself. It's about knowing where you shine and building around it. Here's the trap, though. Too many people define themselves by their weaknesses. Like, I'm bad at sales, so I guess I can't be an entrepreneur. But wait, What if you've got amazing ideas, product skills, and market intuition? All you need is either a bit of training or the right partner. Your weakness isn't a dead end unless you make it one. At the end of the day, your strengths are what make you unique. Weaknesses are just smaller details in your bigger story. The real danger is spending all your energy trying to become balanced instead of becoming extraordinary. So if you ask me, should you focus on your strengths or your weaknesses? I'd say focus on your strengths. You don't have to be great at everything, you just need to be phenomenal at one thing. That's enough to open doors, build a career, and attract opportunities. Here's an analogy. Imagine you're a student who's always scoring 95 plus in math, but only 70 in biology. Would it make more sense to spend your time pushing biology to a 90 or taking math to competition level, maybe even winning scholarships or pursuing a career in data, research, or startups? Obviously math, because that's your natural strength, and that's what can set you apart. Look at highly successful people, they're rarely good at everything. Instead, they're ridiculously good at one thing and know how to leverage it. Like a storyteller who can write and narrate compelling videos but has zero editing skills. That's not a problem. They can team up with editors. Their power lies in focusing on what they do best. So here's the bottom line. Don't waste your life digging 10 shallow holes. Dig one deep well until you strike gold. Your strengths are that gold mine. Weaknesses? Manage them just enough so they don't block you. But never let them define you. Because at the end of the day, the world doesn't need people who are okay at everything. The world needs people who are extraordinary at one thing and confident enough to build around it. If this resonates with you, drop a comment. I choose to focus on my strengths. And if this video gave you something to think about, share it with a friend who needs this message. Hit like, leave your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe so more people can start living their best version. See you in the next video, and remember, keep upgrading your brain.